This is the third time I'm recording this because I keep getting a glare on my glasses, so I need to ensure I'm sat in the right place. Hello there and welcome to today's video. It's another process video today. I thought it was about time, and it's for just a phenomenal film, which is Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, and honestly, if you've not seen it, you should really check it out. It's one of my favourite films, and I've been wanting to make a model from Young Frankenstein for basically years, but I've just been worried that they're kind of difficult to capture. Well, certainly the main characters, but do you know what? I think I've nailed this one. I'm super pleased with it. It's certainly one of my favourite sculpts, if not my favourite to date. So yeah, it's an exciting one for me this week. But before we move on to the process parts of the video, just wanted to let you know, if you're not already aware, because I have mentioned it before, but my dog got in the way, that I've a few new tutorials, and one is up on Skillshare, and it shows you how to make a sculpture of a person in a suit. And I think I'm going to be creating a few more tutorials for Skillshare over the next few months, and I think they're probably going to be centred around making sculptures of people, and they also double up as cake toppers actually, so if that is something you're interested in, I'll leave details down below for you. And I've also created a series of tutorials over at Creative Fabrica, and that's also known as CF classes, and I've created some really cute little things over there actually. There is a fairy house that's made out of polymer clay. I've made a parrot within a frame, and I've just made a tutorial on how to make a really cute little sloth, so if that sounds like your bag, I'll leave details again down below. And I think it's probably easier if I link to, basically it's a new page that I've set up on my website, as I think it's just easier just to collate all that info in one place. And there's links there that will take you through to Skillshare and Creative Fabrica. And yeah, let's go find out how I made Gene Wilder, or Dr. Victor Frankenstein. So I'm going to start on Dr. Frankenstein, or Dr. Frankenstein's face, as I usually do with my project work, and I'm working in black and white or monochrome today, so I'm using this really nice dolphin grey clay from Fimo Professional, and I think it's just the perfect tone of grey. I usually mix my polymer clay colours, and it's rare that I use one out of the packet other than, you know, black or white, but yeah, I really like this clay. So this was my first attempt, and I really wasn't happy with it. I just reached the point where I thought, you know what, I need to start again. So I gave it a good scrunching up, and yeah, resembles this blobfish. But that's kind of usual stuff for working with likenesses. You either get it or you don't. So it's rare that I get one straight off the bat, if I'm honest. So I tend to make 2 or 3 attempts, sometimes more. It really depends on how well it's going really, and I find the earlier that you kind of abort mission, the better really, so you don't invest too much time into it really. So I think this is certainly looking like Gene Wilder at this point. So I'll just pop through some craft wire. So now I'm happy with the facial structure, I'll move on to the base. So I've got some facts about Young Frankenstein, and it was just a delight to research. I absolutely love Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder, but I've just always loved Mel Brooks films, and I just love the man really. So it probably comes as no surprise that loads of footage had to be deleted. I think they made maybe twice as much of the contents as they needed. And Mel Brooks said of that basically for every joke that worked, there were 3 that fell flat. So, you know, what a delight it would have been to be on set for that, and just to see even the jokes that didn't work, because I'm sure they were hilarious. arguably the most iconic scene of the movie, the putting on the Ritz scene, was nearly axed. Mel Brooks didn't really think it was working, but Gene Wilder really fought for it and eventually got it in. And I think Mel Brooks really wanted to see how keen Gene Wilder was to include it. And yeah, I think we're all pretty thankful that he did, really. It's just so funny. And the movie was, of course, I should have said firstly, was co-written both by Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks. So what a dream team. Just as a heads up, I'll be working on colour gradients in this video as well, which I don't think I've featured as yet on my channel. So if you're interested in how to get a colour gradients, I'll show you how to do the Skinner blends, and it'll probably be pretty quick, but I'm sure you'll get the idea. If you've not seen Young Frankenstein, incidentally, I'd really implore you to go and seek it out, because it's really brilliant and certainly stands up to the test of time, really. You know, a lot of stuff that was made in the 70s really isn't kind of, well, watchable really, for me anyway, but I think because it's so conceptually strong, it really works. I've got a real soft spot for the film High Anxiety, which never gets a mention really when, you know, people are talking about Mel Brooks films. It's generally kind of Blazing Saddles that gets all the accolades, but I think High Anxiety is such a brilliant film, and yeah, go and check that one out if you've not seen it. I'm sure you'll love it if you love Mel Brooks' work. He actually appears in that one as a main character, so it's just a delight. I'm sure you all know the Aerosmith song Walk This Way. Have you ever wondered where the inspiration from that came from? It's Young Frankenstein, and more specifically Igor, and his rather famous line, Walk This Way. I won't say any more in case you've not seen the film, because yeah, I'll wait for you to check it out. But anyway, Aerosmith loved the film and that line in particular, so yeah, that's where the song title comes from. Also, I don't know if you've seen the Netflix show Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld, but there was an episode a few years ago now featuring Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner, his his best friend really. How sad he's no longer with us, because he was just such a talent as well, but oh my god, it's the most wholesome thing you'll ever watch really. And yeah, go and check that out if you can. You might be able to find it on YouTube, I'm not sure, but it's just a delight. They're like Bert and Ernie really, or certainly were. They're just filling their faces full of food basically while they're talking to Jerry Seinfeld, and it's just so heartwarming. So I'm going to move on to his hands now, and again these are a little more fiddly than you'd expect really, so I don't know what it is about hands. They're possibly on a general model the thing that I like doing least. I think because there's they all follow the same format really, or generally, so perhaps it's because they're all so similar that I don't really sort of look forward to doing them as much as the other elements. If you're interested, incidentally, in the tools that I use for my polymer clay work, I've a list down below basically in descriptions, so go and check those out if you're interested. And I should really do an intro actually if you're new to my channel. My name's Lizzie and I'm a polymer clay artist and illustrator with an interest in pop culture, so my favourite videos to work on are basically my process videos like this one, and I hope to be doing a lot more of these, so if that's your kind of thing, by all means hit the subscribe button and remember to hit the bell for notifications as well. So now I'm going to be working on the gradients, so I've got a really light grey tone here and a much darker tone. So what I need to do is just to place one on top of the other and cut out a rectangle shape. And just peel those away from one another. I should actually probably use some water here because it's really hot in the studio, so the clay is quite sticky, but yeah, that's hindsight for you. So I'm just gonna cut at an angle. And just take those off. You'll see, yeah, the clay's stuck, but you know, it's not too much of a disaster. Note to self, use water. So I'm just going to place the blocks of clay together. And just go over with my acrylic roller before moving over to my pasta machines. So that just goes through the pasta roller like so. And I'll fold it over and just pop it through again. And just continue doing so. I'll just fast forward through this bit. So this is known as the Skinner blends, named after the inventor of the technique, Judith Skinner. So you'll see here it's created a really nice gradient, so I'm really happy with that. And if you wanted a more in-depth tutorial on creating gradients, I think there's loads on YouTube. I've had a quick look and there seems to be quite a good one from Polymer Clay Tutor, which I'll leave down below for you. If you're interested, go and check that out. So I'll just start adding some hair to his head. I don't know whether you know, but there's now a musical, Young Frankenstein, and Ross Noble appeared in it a few years ago, and he features on the Richard Herring podcast where he talks about his experience of working with Mel Brooks, and it's just brilliant. So I'm going to leave that linked below as well because it's really worth listening to. He does a great impression of Mel Brooks as well. And here he is, all done, and super pleased with this one, and I think I need to make Frankenstein as well, don't I? Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I did making the model. It was just a dream to make, so I love it when things come together because, you know, they don't always arrive at the destination that you want them to, so I was super pleased with this one. Let me know what characters you'd be interested to see me make in a clay disarray style. I've got more of an interest at the moment in kind of Halloween kind of sculpts or spooky sculpts, so yeah, let me know what you'd like to see me make. And I think that's it for today. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.